All righty, thanks for joining us tonight. We'll give it one more minute for folks to log on. Just we will record this, so if for some reason you have to drop off or get disconnected, we will post this and also email it out to you afterwards. So we'll get started in just a minute. Okay, thanks for joining us tonight. Appreciate everybody taking the time to learn a little bit about recruitment and some recruitment strategies. If you have any specific questions throughout the presentation, drop them in the Q&A and we will answer them at the conclusion of the webinar. So we are going to record this again. So if you get disconnected or have to drop off the call, you'll be able to watch it at a later time. We'll try to keep it to 30 minutes, but certainly if you have questions at the end, we'll spend as much time as we need to do our best to answer those for you. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about recruitment strategies, share some resources that you can use, talk about developing an action plan, and then at the end, if you have any specific questions or comments, be more than happy to take those at that time. So that's what we'll kind of cover tonight. Again, we'll try to keep it to 30 minutes. So we're going to talk tonight about recruitment strategies, kind of beyond the flyer and posters. So I kind of broke this presentation into kind of 4 key areas: school, community, parents, and scouts, and we'll talk about each of those. And again, keeping in mind this is kind of going beyond the flyers and the posters that we're probably all accustomed to of using as far as a recruitment technique, but we'll talk about some other things that you can do at your level, at the unit level, to help boost your recruitment. So we'll kind of talk first about school and some of the things that you can do as part of your recruitment campaign and ways that you can get involved. One of them obviously is open houses. Lots of units already do those, but if you're not participating in an open house at the school, we would encourage you to take advantage of that. PTA events, a lot of times there's fall festivals and different types of activities that the PTA sponsors where families are involved. You want to certainly take advantage of those opportunities. Any school carnivals or school events where you can have a presence is certainly important. Service projects, and this kind of ties in, if you will, with the kind of Adopt a School and the BSA Adopt a School program, where scouts in your unit can participate in some service projects, maybe at the school, doing some cleanup or some little bit of landscaping. Again, having them out in uniform, having other parents see them doing those types of activities is certainly a great recruitment tool. You could certainly have scouts participating in flag ceremonies at the school, whether it's raising or lowering the American flag during the school day. Again, having a presence of scouts so that teachers and other parents see that is certainly beneficial. School announcements. I don't know if schools do them as much anymore as they used to, but I can remember when I was a district executive having a cassette tape of a Garfield public service announcement when Garfield was the spokesman for Cub Scouting, and asking schools to play those at the morning or afternoon announcements. So certainly it's something you can record very easily with an iPhone, as a audio file, and asking the school to play that, talking about your recruitment night, and how boys and girls can sign up for scouting. Using school social media pages, and we'll share with you some resources, kind of specific to the Michigan Crossroads Council, of some material that we've created for some social media, but certainly you can provide that information or graphics to schools and ask them to post it up on their social media pages. Displays and demonstrations. A lot of schools have areas where scouts can set up a display, maybe Pinewood Derby cars or some of the activities, photos of activities that they've been involved with in their pack. Some schools have like a display case that they will allow scouts to set up a display. So again, keeping that in front of folks. Parents will see that as they're coming to school, dropping their kids off, picking them up, that type of thing. School newsletters, whether it's a printed version or a digital version, of getting yourself in there as well, announcing your recruitment night and how folks can sign up. Uniform to School Day. We're going to be promoting that here in the Michigan Crossroads Council, of encouraging our scouts to, on a particular day, wear their uniform to school. Again, that's going to give a good presence of the uniform and of Cub Scouting, and allows folks to see that Cub Scouts can wear their uniform to school and join. So we'll talk a little bit about community now. I mentioned earlier with schools, but obviously the same with the community. Service projects, whether it's cleaning up the town park or participating in a clothing or food drive, of having your scouts out there, again, a presence in the community, promoting the scouting program and the values that we teach young people. Fairs and festivals, lots of units do this already, but setting up tables and displays at fairs and festivals to promote scouting and share information about what Cub Scouting is and how folks can join. Setting up in the town square is always a good, lots of traffic, and you can set up a camping site or do a Pinewood Derby or rain gutter regatta. Again, something with some activity where folks can see what Cub Scouting is all about. Parades, obviously, encouraging scouts and to participate in parades in their community. One of the other pieces is a town website, if they have one, or a village website, asking them to post on their particular calendar of events, or maybe if they would allow you some space on their website to announce and promote your recruitment night or joint scouting night. Town newsletters, again, some of these are done printed. Some of these are also digital. Obviously, if it's digital, it's fairly easy to do. But again, just another opportunity to keep that in front of folks. A lot of towns have social media sites, and there's all kinds of different community groups that have Facebook pages and Facebook groups. So asking them if they would post your message on their sites. A lot of times those are very targeted groups, whether it's families or a particular community. those folks are connected, and there's lots of traction on those types of sites. So obviously, local community media, social media sites is important. Local newspapers. I'm a firm believer that scouting is local, right? And anytime that local newspapers can hear about the good things that scouting does and can do for young people, they're always willing to put an article or some photos in there. That's an excellent opportunity to take advantage of, hey, here's when our recruitment night is, and encouraging families to sign up, to join and sign up that night. Again, local newspapers are great, and a lot of times they're looking for content from the local folks. So take advantage of that one. Obviously, the popcorn sale, having scouts out there in uniform in front of storefront sales is a good recruitment technique. You need to be prepared and make sure that your leaders that are participating in the popcorn sale and parents know that if somebody comes up to the table and says, well, how do I join scouting? That they have some information that they can share, whether it's a postcard or a business card, about how that family can join the scouting program. So don't underestimate the importance of the popcorn sale and using that as a recruitment tool. So parents and of course leaders, using some of their social media networks, through email invites, asking parents and leaders to hang up posters at work about the Join Scouting Night, employee newsletters, again, whether it's printed or digital, if they would be willing to put a blurb in their newsletter about your Join Scouting Night. Again, encouraging parents to post on those Facebook groups and community groups that they may be a part of, encouraging folks to do that. Letters to the editor. Again, I mentioned scouting is local. Having one of the parents in your pack write a letter to the editor about how important the scouting is and how folks can join. That's a powerful tool and costs you really nothing. So getting parents to participate in some of that some of these things is important as well. It's easy for parents to do to send a couple of emails out or to post on their Facebook page, or once you have a blurb, you can share it with all the folks in your pack and encourage them to ask their employer to put it in their newsletter. So then kind of the final piece is scouts, and making sure that our scouts are involved in the recruitment plan. Again, not just flyers and posters, but involving everyone. Uniform to school day, peer-to-peer to recruitment, invite a friend to a meeting or an activity that the PAC may be having. A lot of times folks can't attend the Joint Scouting Night for whatever reason. We need to make sure that we give them other opportunities to join, whether it's a PAC meeting or a PAC activity, and encouraging scouts to invite a friend. You'll see on my slide here, we've kind of coined the phrase, every hero needs a sidekick, as part of our campaign, and that will be part of our peer-to-peer recruitment and invite a friend campaign. So offer some incentives for scouts that bring a friend who signs up, whether it's a flashlight or something, but offering that will motivate kids to participate in that kind of a program. Door hangers and postcards, having those printed, and you can do those fairly cheap, but asking scouts to along with their parents, go around their neighborhood and put door hangers about your Joint Scouting Night or postcards, either one. Obviously, not every family that may be in that neighborhood has scouts that are eligible, but it could be a grandparent or something of that nature that, again, another way to get the word out about your Joint Scouting Night. And again, it keeps it local and involves scouts and parents both. Having your scouts visit local government officials, great photo opportunity. Again, I talked about the local newspaper. They like those kind of stories when scouts go and visit with the mayor or selectmen or those kinds of folks, or the police chief or the fire chief, and having a photo opportunity with that. Again, it's an opportunity for you not only to promote scouting, but also to inform folks about how they can join, and information about your Joint Scouting Night. So talk a little bit about resources galore, and tools you can use, and I'll share with you some. Again, I know we have some folks maybe from outside of the Michigan Crossroads Council, but we'll share with you some of the things that we're providing with our units, and your council may be doing the same thing. But if not, there's lots of resources out there, and photos, videos, social media images. We're going to be doing a webinar on Facebook advertising and how to create a Facebook ad and use that as a targeted means to share your message about your Joint Scouting Night with a targeted group. So email templates, and lots more stuff. A lot of this stuff is on the BSA Brand Center, depending on what your council theme might be. There's lots of materials out there for your use. You can customize some of it and run with it. The Membership and Marketing Hub, lots of good resources there as well. Obviously, your council website and lots of other social media sites, whether it's the National Scouting Facebook group or page rather. There's a Cub Scout group, lots of information and information sharing that takes place on those regarding recruitment and reaching out to families to join scouting. I'm a firm believer that photos and videos are powerful. A lot of people don't like to read, so as much as you can, use some action images and photos. And again, if you don't have your own supply of those, there's lots of stuff on on some of these resource sites that you can use and customize to your liking. So we'll talk a little bit about an action plan, right? Again, besides flyers and posters, what else can you do as a unit? And identifying in some of these 4 areas: school, community, parents, and scouts. What additional things can you do to let folks know about your Joint Scouting Night? Excuse me. School, for example, maybe it's posting on the social media, or providing something for their school newsletter, or setting up a display. In the community, again, local newspaper article, having a presence maybe on the town website, or posting on some community Facebook groups. Again, this is a kind of above and beyond the flyers and the posters, but what else can you do in each of these areas? Asking parents to write letters to the editor, asking parents to share images and information on their social media pages, and also taking advantage maybe of the employee newsletter. Obviously, you probably can't do all of this, but picking out a couple of things in each of these areas and encouraging others to do that along with you can certainly reap some great benefit. Scouts, again, uniform to school day. As a pack, you could select a day prior to your recruitment night and encourage everybody to wear their uniform to school. Developing a Build a Friend campaign, or Bring a Friend campaign, rather, so that scouts can invite a friend to, whether it's a pack meeting or an activity, but again, getting the scouts involved in the recruitment efforts. So now to the action part, right? Start early, and that's really now, depending on your particular council, but I imagine schools will be starting over the next couple of weeks and into early September. Now's the time to start putting some of this in motion. Get others involved. Again, there's my tagline: every hero needs a sidekick, right? So get some other folks involved in helping you do this, whether it's somebody to handle the school piece or someone to handle the community piece, or a den leader maybe to put together the Bring a Friend campaign, but get some other folks involved. Don't try to do this by yourself. Try some different methods, right? Maybe you've done in the past, you've done the school newsletter, try something else. Maybe try some social media stuff, or try something maybe with the town website. A lot of town websites now and community websites, to pay your water bill or sewer bill or any of that kind of stuff. They send you online. Maybe you can get something on there where folks will see it. You want to plan your strategy, right? And again, plan, something manageable that you can do, that's easy for folks. We don't want this to be another full-time job for anyone, but by planning your strategy, you'll certainly, I think, reap some benefits. You want to work your plan and then obviously evaluate your success. And again, depending on, if you've done some of these things before, maybe trying something new. My previous councils, we've had great success with some Facebook advertising. So, maybe some of those things that you're doing already and you're doing well, take them to the next level. But you want to constantly evaluate your success with those. So I'm going to, let's see, I might have to, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second, and we're going to bring up, let's see if it'll work here. Not sure if you can see my screen or not, but this is our website that's under development. We'll be launching within the next 10 days, but I'll share with you some of the recruitment materials that we've put together. You're free to use them. There's all kinds of information on here, social media images, a document on how to create Facebook ads, kind of a step-by-step. So if you have not dealt with Facebook ads, how to do that, how to set them up, what analytics you can gather from the Facebook ad, very reasonably priced, and well worth the investment, in my opinion. There's all kinds of Cub Scout, Boy Scout profile frames for parents to use for their Facebook page. All kinds of printable documents, parent guides. We have what we call a principal visit information worksheet. So when you go to visit the principal to talk about your joint scouting night, you can share with them it's kind of the annual report of the pack, if you will. You know, how many scouts from that particular school are involved in scouting, how many of those scouts get Boys Life magazine. You know, that speaks to principals and educators that we encourage scouts to read. And so this document really kind of is kind of a fill in the blank, if you will, for a pack to, again, take to their school when they have a meeting with the principal or superintendent about, you know, this is the impact that scouting is having on this local community. All kinds of a pack recruitment guide, and I would encourage you to maybe check this out if your council doesn't have one already, but it goes into a lot more detail about some of the things we talked about tonight, you know, church bulletins and all kinds of other recruitment opportunities. So if there wasn't something on the original slides that we talked about that you feel like you can do, maybe there's some others in the PAC recruitment guide. So lots of resources here, videos. We've developed all of our material in Spanish as well, so that we've got that material for those folks that need it. We got some public relations information, and some of this is still being updated, but kind of a press release template that folks can kind of fill in the blank about our joint scouting night, and again, just providing that as a tool for folks to use. So if you can't see my screen, you'll get the address when we email out the presentation. Feel free to check it out and use whatever you feel is beneficial and may be helpful to you. Again, it may not, a lot of our material you'll notice is the kind of the heroes theme. That may not be your particular council's theme, but some of the information is generic for any theme. So okay, so let's see. So we've got a couple of questions. Our school district is restrictive about allowing non-school groups to promote or recruit. What do you recommend? Will they allow you to do digital flyers? I've run into that in some of my areas of responsibility where schools, they don't like to hand out paper anymore. They have like a digital backpack that they'll send home to parents. A lot of times they will let you put your flyer in there as well as an attachment that's sent out to the parents. And then obviously that's real thrifty because there's no printing involved in that. You know, it's strictly all digital. And so, and maybe, you know, maybe through the PTA you can ask them to, a lot of PTAs have Facebook groups and those kinds of things to stay connected. Maybe they'll put something on their page for you as well. Don't underestimate too your chartered organization, whether it's a church or a fire department or an American Legion. Lots of those folks have websites and Facebook groups. Asking to put your information on those mediums is important as well. Advice on how to reach homeschoolers. So depending on your area, and this takes a little bit of research sometimes, but finding out, a lot of times there is a homeschool association of parents that are involved in homeschooling in a particular geographic area. They're very, very connected. And when I was in New Hampshire, we tried to we were able to connect with homeschoolers and invite them to an activity at our camp. They're always looking again for those extra types of curricular activities that they can do with their homeschooled students. Finding out if there's a connection, the school may be able to help you as well. Find out who those homeschoolers are, or if there's a association or group that you can connect with and encourage them to share your information. So again, it will take a little bit of research, but that information is out there, and once you get into that network, they're pretty strong. So, can we order flyers with our recruitment night info printed on them from the council? That was asked by Krista. I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to speak for the Michigan Crossroads Council, but I would imagine that most councils will print flyers for you. There's a space on the front to print when your joint scouting night is, who to contact for more information. Some councils print some information on the back. I know that we do kind of an overview of Cub Scouting, what a wolf is, what a bear is. We also list some of our new scout joining events, right, that they can participate in after they join. So we give them that information ahead of time as well. So again, a lot of it depends on your council, but most councils will print the flyers for you. Just depends on what they'll be able to do, whether it's front and back or just the front. So again, try to keep it simple because people don't like to read. So too much information sometimes scares them off. Let's see, we can see screen. Thanks for the comment on the website. Let's see. Yeah, schools can have digital Yeah, that is the disadvantage, right? Because that's the medium that they use to distribute that, and parents just unfortunately tune it out. But I maybe trying some of these other techniques or strategies, as kind of a workaround to the digital flyers or the paper flyers, may be beneficial. When the PTO switched to a PTA, it no longer chartered the PAC. Yep. I know there's probably a few around that still sponsor, but they may not charter our Cub Scout packs and Boy Scout troops and that type of stuff, but I do think they still are supportive of the scouting program and the values that we teach, and it's a partnership between us and the school and the PTA or PTO. So asking them to participate certainly is well worth the effort. So, yeah. Keith talked about using buddy cards if no flyers. So if your school doesn't allow flyers, kind of arming your scouts with business cards, with the pack information, when your joint scouting night is, and again, have some fun with it. Give the scouts some incentives for inviting friends to and it's also not only is it helping your recruitment, but it's also helping the scouts with public speaking skills and those types of things. Because obviously you can't put everything on the business card, but scouts will have an opportunity to talk to other friends in their school and both boys and girls. So I would certainly take advantage of the peer-to-peer recruitment campaign and use that in your efforts. So we also have a question here: do we order recruitment material on the council or district website? And that's from Krista. I'm assuming you're from the Michigan Crossroads Council. You will work directly with your district on that. As far as ordering your flyers and any other materials that you may need. If they haven't communicated that to you, drop me a note here and we'll put you in touch with the Field Service Council that you're in and make sure that they get that information to you. So we'll start to, the printers are probably going to start ramping up here pretty quick. With starting to print flyers and that kind of stuff throughout the council. So, and again, I would say that in most councils, the next couple of weeks are going to be pretty busy. The printer's going to be tired. So, let's see. Do we have any other questions? Doesn't look like it. All right. Well, again, thanks for joining us tonight. Be sure to check out, for those of you in Michigan Crossroads and other councils as well, we're going to be doing a couple more of these. One specifically, I think, is going to be pretty exciting about social media and creating Facebook ads. And you can do that for, $50. And I think you'll see tremendous benefit. It's hard to track recruitment, but getting the message out there, it's a great way to do it. And somebody mentioned the school access issue with flyers. With Facebook, you can target down to communities and zip codes. And folks that are involved in organizations and parents with school-aged children. I mean, you can drill down pretty deep into the analytics of that. So another method, if you can't do flyers or don't have success with digital flyers, might be something you might want to consider as well. So, all right. Well, thanks again for joining us, and I don't see any more questions. As I mentioned, we are recording this, so as soon as it's done, we'll post it up. Feel free to share it with other folks in your unit or in your council if you find it beneficial. So, thanks for all you do for scouting. We certainly appreciate it, and the young people that you will recruit this fall and that you've recruited in the past, certainly thank you as well. So have a great evening, everyone. Thanks.